That girl can't take it. Should've known she was a heartbreaker. Okay, I'm at this point where I'm not even sure I can be considered a YouTuber anymore because I haven't posted regular video content in so long. And I think it's a problem. You know, I said I was gonna review that book. I haven't even finished it because it was nice. I enjoyed it. I've not finished it yet. I'm close. But I don't know. I just sort of hit a bump. I just could not for the life of me. I believe I have a bunch of notes on it that aren't even finished, by the way. Notes that are not finished. Where is it? The book's a chronicle of various stories and perspectives from mothers raising a whole bunch of kids. Hannah's Children by Catherine Ruth. Hope I'm not butchering her last name. Pakaluk. 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 Don't know. Even though I've heard it before because I've watched interviews. I don't remember. But the format was what really got me, you know. It's just interviews and commentary on the interviews up until the end. I think the end gets a little different, but I don't know because I haven't finished the book. I finished the chapter a couple days ago and then again paused on that. But I read other things in between. I'm the type of person that reads a bunch of books at the same time. I need to probably stop doing that because sometimes I forget when it's been too long since I've read this book, one book. I uh, I have the tendency to forget what happened last. I don't forget the whole thing, obviously, but I forget what happened last, and that just makes me that lowers the bar. This happens with video games too. It lowers the motivation to want to go back to it because I've forgotten about it in a way, and I have to sort of regain it. You know, people look for motivation to do certain things, but in my experience, things you're supposed to do. In my experience, the motivation almost never comes. It comes in bouts, random bouts, random occasions. But if you fucking wait for those, then you never do the thing. You do, but if you do the thing, regardless of how you feel, it often comes anyway. Um, but yeah, I've never read anything like this before. I usually read fiction over and over and over again. Any nonfiction that I have read is not like this. So I thought it was interesting because I'm not sure there's a lot of books written like this. But I don't know. Don't 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 take my word on that because I am not the avid reader you think. I'm not. Um, but to me it was refreshing. You know, I would give it a read, even though you may or may not feel some type of way about all the religious stuff. I would give it a read anyway because I think that there's value there. There's a few things I want to focus on, but first, I believe, is the first chapter, which is titled "He Still Wants You," which is a crazy ass title, if you ask me. Crazy ass title because you would hope that your partner fucks with you after fucking 5 to 10 years. You would hope. Like, that's the goal. That's the expectation. So I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, no shit, but also, I get it. You know? The fact that the wife could want the husband, and the husband could want the wife. Each partner wants each other. They desire to be in the relationship still to this day. Everything is as passionate as it was, or more so. Relationships don't always last too long. Sometimes they're super short, sometimes they're long, and then they break off, and then there's another long one, and then they break off, and then there's a short one, and then they break off. It can be all kinds of strange. Everybody's on different timing and timelines. You know, but yeah, and relationships certainly don't last often. Last over half of a person's life. Half, over half of a person's entire life. If you have a relationship of any kind that lasts that long, that is crazy. And it can't be uh, like your immediate family that you're born into, because that usually, well, I don't know if it usually stays, but that's different. If you ask me, it's different. And it tends to, like, I have no doubts that that's going to be fine for me. But that's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to other ones. Now, I'm not shaming you or anything for having felt like you needed to leave, which some people do, which is why you're going to get into some of that's in the book, not shaming, but the mention of these things. Like, some people say, oh my God, it's the fact that it's a problem that we have so many people are able to leave relationships easily. I don't like that we that there are people that talk like that. You know, things that come about through like a freedom of choice, a freedom to act, you know, without control from some outsider. That's a good thing to me. Even if it did lead, which I'm not saying that it does, even if it did lead to bad consequences, it's still good. So I'm never going to advocate pushing for something that doesn't work. But a positively, mutually beneficial, multi-decade relationship, I'm sure has like increasing returns. If it's just as I described, it has increasing returns, meaning that what was once good becomes exponentially better over time. Um, I believe the author is Catholic. So much of the writing, again, comes from that perspective to some extent. She'll try to, if she even mentions it, that she's a little bit biased, but she'll try to lean away from that to get into what she believes are the issues of the book, addressed in the book, the issues addressed in the book. But it's going to be there. It's going to be there. But I think it's still interesting book concerning ideas about love, marriage, family, all that stuff, and even religion if you're religious, right? But I'm not. Um, which, well, throughout my life, I would say I can say with a little certainty that there are a lot of people don't have positive associations with atheism. Some people don't, meaning that common associations like spirituality is not commonly associated with atheism. It seems it's like apart from that. It's like atheism, spirituality, they're different things. They're it's outside the bounds. I don't view it that way. You know, all there's that and a few other things that are associated. I think are positive, right? But they're all associated with religion. Absolute truth, beauty, all these things are associated for some people with religion and not atheism. And I'm sure myself and other people can relate to the fact that that's never been the case for me. Now, when I read this book, I thought there was some interesting and gorgeous lines from some of these people, some of these women, and also some things I disagree with, but we're not going to discuss those. We're going to primarily discuss the good bits. But as far as I'm concerned, not many people, religious or otherwise, spend a lot of time trying to fully grasp important but difficult concepts. So those things I just mentioned, absolute truth, whether there is any, what it means, beauty, spirituality, all these things. Most people don't spend a lot of time on these topics. We just sort of make a few assumptions or don't even address it at all. And we just move on because I guess we have better things to do, which is fine most of the time. But I think that these things have to be sort of like addressed. They have to be in our lives, you know. Some people, I don't know if you've ever had a conversation with someone about a topic that you didn't know that much about, but you read maybe one book, maybe you're decided on it, right? And you haven't done that much research, but you're decided on it. And then people look at you like, oh, but have you looked into this? And you say, well, no, I didn't hear about that. And then they'll be like, well, then you don't know. There's this whole wealth of literature and knowledge and videos and content and da 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 and on and on and on that you haven't consumed. So how do you know? Is what they'll say. But it's like, I've said this before, the amount of wrong information is near infinite. It's near infinite. And so it's like, but there's like few right answers for specific issues. There's like a few right answers. Now, I'm not saying don't go looking for opposing viewpoints. That's not what I'm saying. But it's okay to think you're right, even though you might be wrong. If you think you've done a good enough job on the subject, and you're the only one who can make this judgment, ultimately, you're the last one who has to make that judgment. The first one and the last. You are the one who decides whether or not you've done a good job determining what is true and not true. You know? So I'm not trying to read everything on every subject. I could go and read someone as influential as Kant, but I don't have a particular interest. I don't have a particular interest. So this is not something that I have to do. It's not something I have to do to know truth. Unless I'm wrong about something. Unless I'm wrong. Which that's not the question to ask. It's not the question to ask that I might be wrong. If I don't have any indication or reason to think I'm wrong, which may develop over time, then unless I have a particular interest, don't you don't have to feel shamed into consuming all these things that are near infinite. So many things out there to consume. You don't have to waste your time. Um, as I've been reading this book and thinking about these things, I was thinking about the fact that so many things are only so inspiring. You know, I like a lot of things. It's rare that I'm very forgiving, and I will watch a 4 out of 10 movie and be like, okay, I enjoyed that, or not even I enjoyed that, but I watched it the one time, and I feel okay that I spent my time doing it. I don't feel like I have to like I wasted my life away. So exceeding my expectations is rare, even in terms of quality of people that you meet. But that's not to say that people don't do great things. You can look out and see people do great things all the fucking time. Literally all the fucking time. But it's almost like it goes to an extent and then it stops most of the time. So all your neighbors do great work, but they don't do the greatest of great work, if that makes any sense. Back to the book, the author's an economist, She said it's not an example of her doing economics. That's an exact quote from her book. She does that probably multiple times in the book. But, and I'm not an economist either, but this is like, there are insights to be gained here, even if not universal truths, you know. And she says that in the book, which is why I find it so refreshing because it's like a biography about not important people, but more like the general population or a specific subset of the population. She makes the suggestion that there's a population crisis. Again, I don't think that there is one. I haven't seen evidence that there is one. The human race isn't going anywhere just because, again, of freedom of choice. This is not a thing. If we went from 300 million people to 200 million people as a result of freedom and choice, which is the suggestion from the book, I'm not sure that that's true, that that's even true. I'm not even sure that people don't have kids because of freedom and choice. I'm not sure that that's the case. That's sort of an assumption she makes. But that's the reason. Oh, because we're so free. Now, I've turned 30. I don't have a family. Um, I haven't started a new one. I've never been married. And I can positively say that it is not freedom and choice that has led me to this position. And I'm neither agnostic or antagonistic towards the idea of starting a family. I did have other things to write on this, but I didn't yet. I wanted to talk about things that I was going to do later on because I have not posted regular content in so long. It's been I've just been posting music bits, right? Not even full things. Since the EP, nothing. Just snippet, 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 snippet. Not really mix, not really mix, not really master, not really master, not really edit, not really edit. Just post, post, post. Which is fine, you know. But I keep saying in my mind, there's things I want to do that I work too hard to try to make happen that I never actually get around to doing it. Um, and I knew that I was not going to end up doing this if I waited anymore. So if I have more things to say on the book, I'll come back to you. But I wanted to just get out what I had prepared already because it's been too long, bro. Oh my God. I was listening to someone talk about a streamer, and when I think about the way they said they had to prepare for the stream, right? And I do the same thing, but they actually got around to doing the stream. They said they drank like 20 Red Bulls or something and just kept going and going and going and going. But the action is the important part. The fact that they actually acted on their preparation and they actually bothered to prepare the thing. I think I have a personal preference for over perfecting something that if you never get around to doing it, then are you really perfecting it? If you never do the thing, then what have you spent your time doing? Trying to perfect. You were probably bullshit, most likely. You didn't know what you were doing. You know, I've been experimenting, trying to do different things with music. So, like my originals, my first few songs ever, it's not going to turn out too well initially. Like the last thing I think I put out wasn't the greatest. It wasn't that great. But it's because I was trying to do something different. And I'm sure some people can tell some of the things that I was taking inspiration from. Because I've been listening to Alicia Cara, and oh my God, that shit, it's hard, bro. If you ask me, it's hard. And that's, whenever I do a song, it's missing when I do singing songs. They're bops, but I also want to do more blues like styles, more R&B like styles, and I generally don't do that. But I'm figuring it out. I'm reading books on that too, but that's going to take some time. There was one on jazz that I wanted to read about. If you Google the book, I don't remember which one it was, but people call it the Jazz Bible and all these things. The Jazz Bible. So we'll find out about that. Figure out what's working with that. Um, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to go live and do the bangers. I'm going to sing and rap the bangers that I have made because to me, they're like explosive. Like five of those songs that I've ever made are like explosive, but I don't promote them very much. I don't. Not enough. Not enough. I tend to put them out and then move on. Um, but if I like it, I'm going to do it. But I need too many things to get that done. Which I need to ask someone about that. I need to be mobile for a bit because I don't want to do it in my living space in this room or any other room in this house. I need a different space to do that. I want to create dances for some of them because that was my entire intention in creating Pop is Alive and Well, Pop Heart, Village Hidden in the Snow is pretty great. Tripping About, all these things are bops. You can dance to them. but I don't have energy up the wazoo, and I really don't drink Red Bull that often. I'm not crazy. I'm not a crazy streamer like that. I just don't have it in me. So we're looking for a workaround, if you will. I've been reading and writing a bunch of articles on whatever I feel like. Short, but that's not the point of them. Often, I don't really. I primarily do these short things. To train myself for one thing. Another thing, while I'm doing long things, uh, this is where all my focus has been. Long form content that takes time, and I want to do short things in here and there to keep people tuned in, I guess. And I don't think it's working, but so I just probably just get over myself and work on the long stuff. And when I finish it, and we'll see what happens. But that's where all my focus is. You know, it's not it's not easy. I can't do the things I used to want to do, like stream video games. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm a different guy. I used to think that I doom scroll too much. I don't. I don't doom scroll too much. I just need more. I need to systematize my production, if you will. And then I can do a lot more for all of you and the world and myself. So if you could do me a solid and subscribe, that'd be great. Subscribe, go follow my Substack. You can follow it for free. There's only free things available right now. I have a long, long amount of list of things coming, and they're going to be actually good because I cannot for the life of me do the kinds of half-ass things I see on YouTube today, or the trendy things. Oh my God, to find yourself in the position where you make a video on the Odyssey, not because you want to make a video on the Odyssey, but because Odyssey the movie came out. And I'm not saying everybody's doing this, but some people are doing this. That would hurt my soul and my psyche. Or if that's the same thing, it would just hurt. It would hurt. I only do short things on all those things, because I can't. I don't want to. It's not my desire. It took me, and I've been reading a lot faster these days, but it took me 2 years to finish Atlas Shrugged. Technically longer because I started it and then restarted it. Okay. It'll take me a lot faster to finish the Fountainheads. It took me a lot faster to get as far as I got in Hannah's Children. It's only been 2 months. But I want to do high production things, and those things also require money, time, and the money I'm not worried about, but the time and the people and the effort, these things are hard to come by these days. You know, I worked later today and I'm pushing it already. I'm pushing it already. It's 11:18 a.m. Um, I'm gonna have to sleep before work. I'm gonna have to do it. An 8-hour shift. I have to do it. And I'm pushing it. I'm pushing it. But this is what I want to do right now with my time. I don't want to have to, I feel like I have to go to sleep because I have work later. I have to, but I'm going to push it as long as I think I can. I'm going to try. What was the other things I wanted to talk about? One of those things, one of those words, those things that are like good words to describe something, good things, or, you know, one of those things I was discussing that are associated with mystical religious stuff. And there's elements of truth in it, as well with a bunch of stuff that can't really be described, and no one would try to describe it because that's the whole point for them. Transcendental, transcendence. I wrote an article on this. It's very short, very quick thing. Just my thoughts on the fact that it's a good word to describe something real in the world. But the associations, the attempts to use it, describe it, all these things, they refer to something non existent, something woo sometimes. And I thought it's nice to attempt to define it, constrain it to something that exists, something we can see, something we can talk about, something we can actually refer to, you know, rather than just leave it up in the air, if you will. You should go check out the article too, called The Nature of Transcendence. I forget what my Substack is called. It might just be Malcolm Bomani Brown, as usual. Yeah, it is. Already I'm getting hungry. This is what I'm talking about. Like, time is thin, bro. It's thin, bro. And you can try to make the most of it. I'm just rambling at this point. It was supposed to be alive. It's not. This may or may not go up. We'll find out. But yeah, I just had to check in, bro, because I'm working hard on things. Trust me. I don't sit around. don't do this. You know, somebody referred to me as lazy the other day. I just let them say what they had to say, played it off. But I cannot be further from that, you know. I don't always do things that other people want me to do, but lazy is not the word. Particular, maybe. We'll see what happens. I've been working on those dances. You know, I don't sit around. I'm working on it, but it's got to be perfect. It can't be half-assed, bro. Can't be half-assed. I can't even process that I posted Village Hidden in the Snow without running an ad because it's so fucking good to me. And the thing is, when you post things, if they're never seen, how do you know how good they really are? If they're never seen, it only got 50 views. How do you know how good it really is? You know, if everybody that saw it knows me, how do you know how good it really is? You know, Palmer Luckey has a story about how he built the first prototypes of the Oculus, the VR headset, and nobody believed in this guy. Nobody ever does. They always think you're just dreaming. It's rare that someone sees the vision. So if you know the people, it doesn't count. It does not count for shit. It counts for nothing. You have to rely on yourself for these things and wait and hope and maybe the results will show that you were correct over time. But you have to put in the time. You can't expect it to happen overnight. You know, Russ is right about a lot of things when he says this is. I saw a video titled "Music is a long game." It's a long game, bro. Music, everything's a long game, and nobody wants to play it, but it's a long game. Not everybody wants to play the game, but it's a long game. And if you're patient and disciplined, both, I expect that usually it turns out okay. If you're both, I think most of the time it turns out okay. Do I have proof to offer you that that's true? No, I don't. But it's true. And you should take my word for it. So I wrote several songs the other day. See, this is what I mean. Like, there's a lot going on that you don't get to see. And I was unsure about whether to put them out. I didn't even finish them, but I was unsure about whether to finish them. I was like, maybe I should just toss this. I posted beats that I was supposed to write to, or I did write to, but I never posted the full songs or recorded the full songs. I might attempt to I might attempt to show you guys some of the drafts. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Not today. But genuinely, I think I have five genuine bangers out there. Maybe a little more, but to me, the ones I named were like, they still give me goosebumps, right? They still get me going. Without that, you don't have a leg to stand on. If you don't believe in it, then you should probably toss it at that point. Um, let me see. This is gonna work. For those who don't know which song I'm talking about, that was totally a banger. It was totally a banger, bro. And I just wasted it. I can repost it and all that, but I just wasted it because I didn't run ads. I didn't promote it much. I didn't do anything.
Locked in, shorty, we was locked in. We come from way back when the times were hard. From back then, back when I was stocking, trying to get my money up. Swear that you were just enough. You I kept on treating. I am never leaving. At least that's what I thought. Shorty, she was faking. Little did I know was the times that were taking. Make it make sense. Pushing on my energy just to make rent. No, I am relentless. No, I won't forget all the times that we had. No, I'm glad. No, I'm not mad. But I won't stick around just cause she bad. Know that I've had enough. No, she won't stick around for my come up. The world won't turn your way just cause you like it too. A girl won't fall in love just cause you like her too. The world is full of truths and lies and you can't see it. You can't see it. You can't see it. Can't see my eyes. This the village hidden in the snow. You better know, motherfucker. Can't see my eyes. This the village hidden in the snow. You better know, motherfucker. Can't see my eyes. This the village hidden in the snow. You better know, motherfucker. Can't see my eyes. This the village hidden in the snow. You better know, motherfucker. Sedated just enough so you cannot go on. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it alone. A problem ain't a problem unless you make it one. A lie ain't a lie unless you acknowledge them. Thought I was a goner. If the issue wasn't there, then I wouldn't be a loner. The problem only grows if you push it any longer. Know that I've had enough. Lethal, harsh like a bitch. Never mind the girl, but I feel like shit. Never mind them, but a man could wish. Give that girl a kiss goodbye. Never in my life would I have to live a lie. Little did I know it was a sign of the times. I swear another me used to be so innocent. Another part of me that never known violence. Can't see my eyes. This the village hidden in the snow. You better know, motherfucker. Can't see my eyes. This the village hidden in the snow. You better know, motherfucker. Can't see my eyes. This the village hidden in the snow. You better know, motherfucker. Can't see my eyes, this the village hidden in the snow, you better know, motherfucker. You better know, motherfucker. Can't see my eyes, this the village hidden in the snow, you better know, motherfucker. Can't see my eyes, this the village hidden in the snow, you better know, motherfucker. Can't see my eyes, this the village hidden in the snow, you better know, motherfucker. Can't see my eyes, this the village hidden in the snow, you better know, motherfucker.
People are active or actually watch the content. I was supposed to do something for Born to Be a Bachelorette for like a while now. For a while now. That is honestly one of my favorites too. But it hasn't even been recorded, so it might even not be one of my favorites. I don't know, because it's still in its potential phases. Its potential has not been realized. And if at some point I get around to, man, that shit is gonna be so fucking fire. I don't know whether to just release it when I do record it or make it a part of a larger thing. We'll see. I'm starting to get the feeling that all this, because I can't run an ad on the fucking EP because it's too long. It's too long. It doesn't start immediately get into the stuff that I think people will like. It doesn't immediately get into that. It starts with something that I think people will generally lose interest too quickly. I think. But I did it anyway. I could re-release it without those. Oh shit. I didn't even think of that until just now. I did not even think of that.
Stage lights, dance mic, keep on moving till we get it right. New shit, she wanna be a hero, so she came around. I kept an eye on her. No more misery. They're looking for that romance. Get them hot and freaky. Color me, with something I can look up and see, lovely. I'm telling you this pop shit's alive and well. They
So
wanna
that's
hear
not my
truth they can
fault,
really feel. If it ain't fantastic,
but
I don't wanna
that's
hear it.
right.
She ain't a pretty soul, I don't wanna see it. I'm telling you this pop shit's alive and well. They wanna hear a truth they can really feel. If it ain't fantastic, I don't wanna hear it. She ain't a pretty soul, I don't wanna see it. An age-old problem with the moving and the shaking. I once saw dreams, the stars on earth.
I don't want this video to be
Seen an
too
existential danger in the former. So I committed to the vision. Can't see lows with his only highs. Shorty there dancing, built pretty thighs. Color me, color me, color me, color me. I'm telling you this pop shit's alive and well. They wanna hear truth they can really feel. If it ain't fantastic, I don't wanna hear it. She ain't a pretty soul, I don't wanna see it. I'm telling you this pop shit's alive and well. They wanna hear truth they can really feel. If it ain't fantastic, I don't wanna hear it. She ain't a pretty soul, I don't wanna see it. Sun's out, touch ground, hot like us, I can feel it now. Made it, no faking it. Girls from
And that's the thing. People are not shy about this, and that's what makes them make it. They were posting their stream every day of the same music that they've made over and over and over. They said until they make it. This is what it was titled. But they didn't care that they're reposting it. They didn't care, but they did it anyway. And isn't that just marketing? Isn't that just marketing? Now, I wouldn't do that specifically, but bro, that's great. That's great. And there are things that I don't do because I wouldn't personally, if I was already a fan of someone, I wouldn't want to see this. So I don't do it. But that's not good sales. That's not good marketing. So we're about to change a lot of things very soon. I can't always record, so I need to find times where that's easy to do. Honestly, I'm spreading myself too thin, but it has to be done. It has to be done.